So the other day, I'm sitting at my desk transcribing some tunes, and I noticed something. You know, I was transcribing a bunch of 90s songs, and they all seem to use this really similar chord trick that I wouldn't necessarily say like it defines the sound of the era, but it's something that you find a lot in the 90s, and you don't really find it prominently, at least, in the decades before or after. And the concept is simple. I have 3 things that I need to remember. 1, pick a shape, in this case, the E chord. 2, move it around. 3, add some rhythm. It can be a strumming pattern, or you can pick out certain notes to make like little motifs. And of course, I am going to break that all down and show you how to do this. But really quick, I just want to show you what this thing can evolve into. Instead of playing the plain old E chord, we can play E with our other 3 fingers, drag it up the fretboard, add our index to the equation. Sort of looks like a bar chord, but it's not. You know, we're not barring, we're not applying that pressure. And you can make even more sounds just by modifying it in that way, but still sticking to the same formula. Shape, move it around, add some rhythm. Really quick, if you enjoy learning guitar with me, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, grab my free ebook. There's a link down below in the description. Anyways, I have 2 E chord tricks to show you. We'll start with the simpler one. We're going to take our E shape, our good old trusty E shape, and choose a few spots on the fretboard. The important thing here is to track the same finger, you know, so I'm going to track my middle finger. When I play the regular E chord, it's on the 2nd fret, so I think 2nd fret. Now I bring it up to the 7th fret. My middle finger's at the 7th fret. Then I go to the 5th fret. You can even write down the numbers like 2, 7, 5, 7, and just do it that way. 2, 7, 5, 7. I'm just applying a strumming pattern, in this case the most common strumming pattern ever, playing it 1 time on each chord. And I'm sliding during that last upstroke. Slide, you know, on that and of 4. Just so that I can be right on the shape on beat 1. I have a worksheet with all these examples written down, by the way. So if you want to like learn this at your own pace and sort of have something to look at, I'll put a link to that down below. Anyways, once you have the basic concept down, taking that shape, moving it, and playing the strumming pattern, we can elaborate. You know, you can kind of finger pick or pick out individual notes. And there, I'm not changing too much. I'm still doing the same pattern, except on those upstrokes, down, down. On the first upstroke, I'm just picking the thinnest string, and then on the second upstroke, I'm picking the B string. And those notes are the same since we're not touching those strings. And it creates this kind of drone, this really cool effect. So that's one more thing to add to your arsenal. And you could explore the shapes, you know, try them in different spots. Find which ones sound cool to you. Change the strumming pattern, change which notes you're picking. This is a great way for beginners, late beginners, intermediate players even, to break out of the standard chord transitions and to keep learning exciting, you know. And to take this one step further, we're gonna play our E chord with our other 3 fingers. So we're saving our index. My middle finger is on the 1st fret of the G string. My ring finger is on the 2nd fret of A. My pinky's just underneath it on the 2nd fret of D. Same old chord, but different fingering. And I'm gonna drag this up until my middle finger's on the 6th fret. My ring and pinky are on the 7th. And my index, just the tip of it, is going to touch the thickest string at the 5th fret. And this is very similar to the bar chord shape, but we're not barring the strings. So we're not applying that extra pressure or straining our wrist, but it still forces us into the exact same position as a bar chord where we have to put our guitar up a little bit. This is an awesome way to work your way into bar chords. You know, if you've been having trouble with them, this will help you kind of master the positioning and the posture before adding the bar, you know, before adding the strain. And that way, when you do add that, everything will be in the right place and you're not going to mess your wrist up. Anyways, when it comes to using this shape, the same concept applies. First and foremost, we want to be musical. We're going to find the chords we like, you know, so I just kind of explore. I'm tracking my index finger this time, by the way. So my index is on the 7th fret, and then like, you know, the 3rd fret, then the 5th fret, then the 8th fret, you know, and I just write that down, 7, 3, 5, 8, and then I play a strumming pattern with it. Same one that I used before, different chords, we're getting a different result. You know, you can leave that up to your interpretation to be creative. And once you have it down in that, you know, just chords and strumming kind of way, you can try experimenting, adding some picking those higher strings, because on every chord shape, they're going to be the same, right? And they'll add that kind of layered effect, almost like two instruments are playing at once. You know, to me, that feels more like a Radiohead or a Weezer kind of thing when you're picking it slowly like that. You know, ultimately, it's all about the feeling behind it. You know, I was going soft, making some notes stand out, kind of strumming a little bit on some of them instead of just picking the note, you know, being a bit broader with my strokes. Ultimately, this simple concept or trick, whatever you want to call it, it's going to open up endless possibilities. You know, the chords themselves sound really cool, and it leaves a lot of space to experiment with the rhythm, how you're picking it, dynamics, all that good stuff. You know, it's a great way to expand your horizons. So that's it for today. I hope that I've given you plenty of options without overwhelming you. There's a worksheet with tabs and everything for this lesson, so you can go at your own pace. There's a link in the description for that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy learning guitar with me, or checking out my premium courses if you want to dive deeper into learning guitar. Have fun practicing, and I'll see you soon.